a sessão do EI. Para isso, eu vou dizer a ordem. Quero também informar que, ao mesmo tempo, no posto de turismo, mesa redonda com investigadores dentro da área agroalimentar, nomeadamente com a Cristina Costa, do IPV, Helena do INIAV, moderado por António Mexia, da seguir essa sessão, também no posto de turismo, vai haver uma sessão sobre as oportunidades que Idanha tem para oferecer, segundo o Clube Económico de Idanha. Enquanto isto no vamos ter o EIT Food Venture Competition, ou seja, vamos ter uma competição de 10 empresas, startups portuguesas que já passaram por um período de seleção com cerca de mais de 60 inscrições e eles conseguiram fazer o top 10 e hoje estarão aqui a competir pelo primeiro e pelo segundo prémio de 10 e 5 mil euros respectivamente. Para isso, pela qual terão que estar aqui, vamos ter primeiro Alfarroba, depois teremos Black Block, Eco Experience, Genviot, Life in a Bag, Sensefinity, Sponge, What Grid e Terra Pro. Ainda não passaram, algumas destas startups não passaram pelo nosso grupo técnico da Regi. Por favor, PowerPoint. Vocês terão, durante a vossa apresentação, um clicker. A vossa apresentação só durará 5 minutos de questões. Para isso, eu queria primeiro chamar... Ok, so I will switch to English, so... namely the 5. And... Alright, so I will be timing the pitch, okay? I will be timing the pitch, and I will ask first Begoña probably to just talk a little bit about this initiative of the EIT a little bit, and then I'll call the jury.
So, as Sofia has said, this is a prize. We will be choosing of the row of 10 startups today. For you to know, we are doing that in 13 countries. We have done that in Spain. Joseph and Tuesday, they have done it last week in Turkey, in Italy, in Greece will come. And so that is our with the startup competition this year. Next year we will have much more tools available. So for us is not only looking about what is, but perhaps some of the startups will be interested in joining some of our programs next year. Sofia, you can go on with...
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Begoña. Don't leave, because as a jury, you will stay right over here.
Yeah, but...
and together with the other...
I think it's better if we sit there. If
yeah?
not, we will finish with...
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. Maybe back problem in the end of the day. So, to announce the jury that will be here with us today, I would like to say that we are going to have Vera. I'm not actually seeing Vera. She's okay. So we are going to have Begoña from EIT Foods. We are going to have Val Livada from Greentown Labs. We are going to have Magnus Ren from Sting. And we are going to have Vera from the Green Tech Challenge. I think that she left. So we are going to have 10 pitches. Each one will have 5 minutes for pitch and 5 minutes for questioning between the jury. I will then pass questions and for Vera, there you go, and our fourth jury that will stay as well in will not stop the alarm, so you know that you have to stop at the 5 minutes. And you can either be here or you can use the microphone and be whatever you want. So, to start, we are going to have Alfarroba on the stage.
Wait a bit for the presentation, Owe. That's everyone, my name is Luis. I'm product technologist at Alfarroba team. We are a team of 4 members, but I'm the only one that came. And we developed a new vegan cooking sauce that is a replace for non-dairy cream. And there's a product that is used to cook it needs to be cooked, and it's a source of protein. So we replace the fat of the normal cream for protein to add more nutritional value to the meal. The reason that we only use Portuguese ingredients. The ingredients that we use are coming from our name, Alfarroba, that is locust bean gum, from the seeds. We have products from the pods, but we only use products from the seed, and there's 2 main products in the seeds. There is like the locust bean gum, that is the main valuable product, and you have the German flour. It is the yellow under the image. And it's a really special product because it has more than 50% of protein. And what we do in our product, it's an emulsion, like water, and we stabilize with the flour of the locust bean germ flour. And the the end product is a good nutritional value with more than 3 per, and only with 6 grams of fat. And there is normal cream has 30%, and we managed to have like a really similar texture to cream. And the protein has a really special characteristic that is thermal resistant. So when you cook, it's maintain the texture when it's cooked. I forgot in Hotel, but it's over there. It's only a prototype. We serve doses of 250 milliliters, and this is maybe later discuss about the package. I would like to have some feedback. And speaking about business, we are now producing this turning point that we need to upscale. Or we have a lot of data, we have a lot of research, or we choose like academic point of view and we publish or the market. But for that, we need a partner that helps us to scale up. And we identify already the segment that is 20 to 50 years old, male, female in big cities, and people that are concerned about the nutritional food. The target first are people that already are looking for dairy products and people that are lactose and gluten intolerant. Our solution is better than the solution that already exists in the market. If you go to supermarket, soy, oats, our solution is better because we use only Portuguese ingredients and we use a byproduct. The locust bean germ flour is a byproduct of locust bean gum production. Like a sales, if you get in a business, we have a sales and we went to the first phase market tests because it's a new product. The second phase is online selling, and the third phase will be selling in natural specialized shops like the Portuguese Celeiro and the supplement shops like Prozis. The communication plan, we want steps to test what we can do, because we have a product, but we want to see to the marketing to create recipes and to make especially vegan products. So we are looking forward to make some partnerships. And external communication, to start with social media. Social media for maybe with people concerned about fit in gyms, and that first. The pricing. We have like now like our pricing is 120 by liter, but it's really in a small scale. We think that if we upscale, we can decrease the production costs, but it's €1.20 by liter, and we produce like each liter is for 5 package, so we can have like a 200% profit. The milestones. The milestones is we need to find up the first 3-6 months is fine-tune the production process. The 6 to 12 months will be a market test, see how the people interact, and these 2 first phases will our focus point. And after we start the market expansion, we start in Portugal. It's our first market. It is more easy to explain what is Alfarroba, and it's the idea for the funding. It's to create the company and start the business. And this is the team. And thank you for it.
To interrupt the jury.
I have a question. Since it's a taste product, did you focus group?
Yes.
If yes, what was the results and what is the comments of the people that actually tasted?
The product to the people already not with only a sauce and cooked, and ask the people what you think, what is your first impression. The people defined that was a bechamel sauce, was the first, more similar to bechamel, because of the color that is a bit yellow. And the other, about taste, the people said it has like a bit bitter taste, a bit aftertaste, a bit metallic, was the comment. With different products that are in the market, and we compare, and 60% get that result with a 60 participants.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you for a good presentation, by the way. One of the comments you made is that one of your advantages is that it's all Portuguese ingredients, and that's fine. In outside Portugal, the argument becomes less important because there are so many others in this market niche,
yes.
And they are either larger or stronger. What's your scope on meeting targets in other markets outside Portugal?
Yeah, the strategy we address Portugal is our first, but if you want to go to export, we have to have a completely different strategy. And I think personally I prefer the product, and I think as better than the other. And I think we can still increase the protein content. So there is work that can be done, and to have a better product, better than that already exists in the market.
So I have two very quick detailed questions. So does this have to be refrigerated?
No.
So you
doing a process of sterilization. So we sterilize but we are in this package we are looking to do a ultra pasteurization. That's part of the process and doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Okay.
And we did a shelf life study for 6 months. And the shelf life study for 6 months was maintaining the proprieties and was not any food.
My second question, and you tried to explain that to me yesterday, but I didn't get it. So this is, you're using material that's the byproduct of something. What that material, you said it gets exported, some
Yes.
of it, for some other markets.
Yeah.
the supply for you guys would be there.
Yes, I didn't have chance to get there, but so we studied and with the producer, and the producer gives us really a lot of support in about the product. And what they are doing now with this product is to sell it to Japan to as noodles.
Right.
And there's a lot, besides our work, we noticed that there's a lot of interest if we manage to do a protein concentrate. So to increase the flour as 53%, if we can get in values of 80%, we have a high value protein. But we think in that option, but the costs to make research are completely different. So we didn't get by. There's a Portuguese company that's really interested in this increasing protein content.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. You mentioned you are targeting vegans.
Yes.
Do you know how many percentage of vegans are in the age 50 plus?
Yeah, there is not really available information, and we noticed products are more available, and there is more. And people are wanting to try different things, to have experience, to try different things, and I believe that in the future will be more opportunities for this type of products. I don't know the numbers. Opportunity there.
One more question, and that is, you're really addressing more than one. You have really clear how you differentiate between those two go-to-market strategies, and which one will you start with? Because B2C is really expensive, you have to spread the word. B2C, B2B could be less expensive,
yes.
But then you have to have the volumes earlier.
Yeah. And yes, we had this discussion, and was really, it's better to start by business to business. Business to business with chefs, and they tried, we already get some contacts with people that I can contact, and we can get the product, they can try it if they like, and try new recipes and see, and start to sell for them. Okay.
So the first pitch was done, but we still have 9 more to go. So right now I'd like to ok? Está quase pronto? Okay.
Hi, I'm Margarida Srumanho. I'm a co-founder and CMO of Black Block. I would like, first of all, to review some that I'm sure everyone is aware of. Estimates for the world population point to almost 10 billion inhabitants. On the other hand, we also know that 1/3 of total food produced on Earth during a year is lost or wasted, and we are talking about 1.3 billion tons of food. Food is wasted through the supply chain, from the initial agricultural production until the final household consumption. Food, both, we also know that food lost or wasted, they are roughly the same quantities, both in in industrialized countries. The difference is that in poor countries are in a post-harvest level, and in developing industry waste is on the consumer levels, and we are talking about 40% of losses on post-harvest and more than 40% of waste in the consumer level. And these are the two points where Black Bloc can intervene and help to fight this scenario. How? At the earlier stages of the supply chain, complete dryings and a safety storage for food, and in the chain transforming by drying food waste into animal feed. I would like to tell you some quick stuff about solar powered or a hybrid. It uses the electric power during the night whenever radiant energy is not available, and in that case it uses the grid. It is smart because it is works automatically. Algorithm that turns the drying process into a continuum of quality independent from the atmospheric conditions. It's convenient because it can be accessed by internet from any laptop or smartphone anywhere, anytime, and is energy efficient, saves 70%, and almost the same in carbon emissions. Our numbers, we are national leaders in. Our numbers of this year, 2018, we have 300,000 euros and a EBITDA of 100,000 euros. We already sold Black Bloc to South Africa to work precisely as a mobile close to the populations, minimize the post-harvest losses. So we aim to start clients like United Nations, FAO in Africa to minimize these post-harvest losses. We also with the largest animal feed factory in Portugal, and we are ongoing experiment with the Nova University of Lisbon to transform. To transform food wasted of restaurants areas into animal feed. So far our clients have been farmers, vegetables and fruit growers, and aromatic herbs producers, and I have to tell you that this year we already sold also a Black Bloc to the largest medical cannabis, the Tilray company, and we are a trademark, a registered trademark. We have all the 6 models certified, and we are already patented, finally.
To start?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for a nice presentation.
Thank you.
And you managed to squeeze everything.
Difficult.
One question, which is quite obvious, is your business model. You didn't say that. Do you sell these, or is it a drying
We are already
the container? I know you're
Yes.
selling. Are you selling the equipment?
We
And
sell
that's
the
it?
equipment, the container, and also the programmer. It's the equipment, both the software and the hardware.
Right. And once you sold and the customer starts using it, then you don't have any relationship with the customer anymore? Or is there support to
No,
some sort of long tail part of the business model?
We in Portugal still contact directly with our clients. They are also a source of experience that we use to develop the black bloc. We are present in the international fairs, and we are still looking for a local distributor, mainly in the southern Europe market, because they have Spain,
Right.
Greece, all
Yeah.
the same kind of agriculture as we have.
But that's it. Right.
We sell the container, we sell the
The
program,
software, yeah.
and we keep the assistance anytime it's necessary
Right.
with the client, when client asks for it. Update the software. It runs in a app.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have contracts of support after that? So you sell the container and the software. The software is produced in-house, the IoT software, right?
Yes.
Do you have any contracts of you have a problem of the software in a year for selling? Do you have any mensual fee supporting that kind of
No,
system?
not yet. We don't have a mensual fee yet, but this is a income that we are thinking about, a fixed fee for the assistance and the updating of the software.
Okay, another question that I have, since you developed the IoT software in-house, is
Both
perfect.
the system and the method, both of them are patent.
Okay, perfect. You talked about South Africa.
Yes.
Who was, I don't know if you can disclose, if you're not, it's fine. Who is the
I cannot tell you.
Okay, okay, it's fine. It's
Sorry.
fine. It's because I have experience on the market. But thank you very much.
Thank
well
you.
Done.
Who buys your containers? Is it the farmer? But when you're talking about restaurants, a restaurant is not going to buy.
For now, so far, we have been selling.
Can see that.
Now we are making an experience to from the restaurants in big commercial areas. We dry them and we animal feed factory.
Right, but some organization has to go from restaurant to restaurant and
That's why we are
transport
working
to the-
with food courts.
with
Because
food
we
court.
have all the
Also, a food
logistic,
court might have the
logistic
might
already
be big
installed.
enough
Yes.
to be able to just you. Okay. Yep.
Since this is a competition, can you explain what it's your plans for the grants if you receive it, the prize today? Because I think you didn't mention in the
No.
presentation. Know where you're going to apply the money.
Okay, we would like to accelerate the expansion to the Southern Europe market. We would like to enlarge to develop the R&D department. Basically, this and obviously to be present in international fairs and conferences and so on.
Perfect. Time's up. All right. Thank you so much, Margarida. So we we start with Portuguese alfarroba. Now we start talking a little bit about. Now it's like we are doing a jump to Australia, right? So I'm going to ask for kangaroo foods.
Started. Hi everyone, my name's Michael Parks and I'm the CEO of Kangaroo Foods. Yes, I am Australian and it's Kangaroo for Portugal. We're a team of 4 at this point in time and I'm the CEO. We are working with indoor vertical farming as a solution for recovering energy that's wasted within buildings. Why? We've heard a few issues are happening in the world at the moment around urban areas and I've noticed that twice already tonight too, based on the Iberian coast. So, it's there. But we know there's a challenge. The hotspots of activity, the key thing that's been identified at this point in time is that the intervention point in these city centres is urban buildings. High energy consuming buildings. They attribute 80% of the greenhouse gases in our city centres. We've become very good at wasting things. 2 of those, in specific that we are addressing, is to do with energy and to do with very complex issues. From the urban food box perspective, we took the decision to really try to refine these down into 4 areas. Food, access to clean, healthy food in our city centres. Transparency, information can have it. Energy, how do we use the thermal waste and other waste of CO2 within their buildings to grow food? And AgTech. AgTech itself has its own barriers to entries, which we heard a little bit from Val and due to high energy costs and high investment costs. So, our solution is to go back one step, to grow food, nutrient-dense local food, with an idea and posing a question of how can we think about food as a battery? How do we do that? We start to leverage and use some of the heavy investment that's already been happening in agricultural technology. The main issue at this point in AgTech is it does cost a of leafy green vegetables, if we use that example, and they're worried about the kilowatt hours that go into each kilogram that they grow. The AI optimization to store the energy by installing a small scale unit inside a high energy consuming building. Do the building integration with the HVAC systems, the climate control systems and the environmental control systems within those buildings so that we can provide those locations fresh, local, clean food. Our value proposition. So, very big industry, very broad. So if we imagine that we're a hotel, well, an executive team managing a hotel, they're concerned with they're concerned with the labour costs that they have. They're concerned with how they can attract customers now and into the future. So our value proposition is really starting to address these issues that are present now, as well as being able to address the ones that are going to be coming. And key things that we've seen even through the target for EIT food goals around transparency, reducing our CO2 footprints. Our product. First and foremost, local, high quality. The second is the urban food box hardware design. So how will we build together the best components from within AgTech to be able to design this? And more importantly is the AI software solution that we offer. The market size and the key thing for us at this point around urban 30% of the primary energy consumption in the US and the EU. The key thing for the customer from a value proposition perspective, almost $1 trillion worth of customers and consumers that are looking to spend their money with sustainable brands. Our competition, we have a unique selling point. Our competition at the moment is focused specifically on LEDs, how to grow the best healthy food, how to do automation and robotics in their growing. in the energy per kilogram. Our business model at this point in time is one of the third iteration, but we're continually testing based at this point. One service fee, annualised per urban food box, to work with the AA optimisation, do the carbon efficiency. Our team, cross-cultural team, we have Antonio, he's Portuguese, he's our him in my PhD program in Sustainable Energy Systems at MIT Portugal. Mattia, Chief Financial Officer, Investment Portfolio Management from Milano, also met him through MIT. And Paulo, a Master Grower, here from Lisbon and expertise in his field. That's our plan, stage 1A, but I can stop here because the next slide's thank you anyway.
Hi.
Hi.
And you didn't tell us why or if you got it, if you get it.
In this first stage A for us, because we really are in prototyping, we've really tested the initial results. Reduce up to about 40% of the energy profile of the technology for producing food. The key for us now is to visualise that model, to really test it, and that's where we want to spend the money, as well as the incorporation of the company in December. So this period in the stage A is really our next 90 days.
So if I visualize this thing, you have a building. Where do you put this unit? How big is it?
Yeah, so building urban areas, and they all have very different styles.
Yeah.
So what we're doing as part of this first stage is the food energy model. So this is also where the different archetypes of buildings. And then depending on the building, it depends on where they have the space. So in this building here, we might start to negotiate 30 square metres just in this corner over here, so we can interconnect with the climate control system and grow the food in this corner.
And then let's say you have a 10-story building.
Yeah.
What do you envision to be the dimensions of this thing? How?
I guess if we get that size building on our flagship, it would be very exciting to be able to take it on, because then we can start to really do real volumes of food. So we have the flexibility in our we've basically developed 3 prototypes. One is in the 15 to 30 square metres, and then bigger, depends.
You said 15 to 30 square
15 to 30 square metres, okay. So it's small scale, but if it is a bigger building and they are consuming.
And depending on the space, right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, again, thank you for a good presentation. But one thing you said that you phrased it that you can actually take waste energy and store it in food. That is, you convert it into food, and you also you do get a lot of information out of that, and I guess that the conversion rate, if you like, the amount of waste energy and the something that could be measured. So you will, I guess, sit on a lot of data, and then I wonder, what would you foresee happening with
the new oil? So data is the new oil. So for us around mining and really being able to understand what's going on in our cities is critical. So there is key for us around our stage 2 planning and really expanding the business model that's not here, that can help us to start to really based on their buildings, and then allow people who are starting to do the upgrades of the buildings next door to really have access for real-time data that can help them understand what's going on. And the key thing for us around the evaluation tool is being able to use the data at this point, data that's real-time, so we can then tell this building, this is the best one for you, this is the produce you can grow, this is all validated and supported. So it does become a real gold mine for us.
Business opportunity in the aggregated information and benchmarking, etc.
Well, I don't. We haven't really fantasized emphasising yet, but that's certainly for us a key business model into the future, because the AI optimization and the interface for the buildings will tell us a bigger story than just you've.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a few questions. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your sales skills. You are amazing on dodging difficult subjects. One question. So you're talking about buildings, right? And how can you foresee your commercial department working, and who are your clients? Because in a building, I own a flat for other people, and how you're gonna work the division and everything about the clients.
2 seconds. One example. Imagine urban high energy consuming buildings like supermarket malls or McDonald's. Large portfolios of buildings, so the independent sort of apartment owned model would be tricky. However, the companies that are managing as well as food consuming, that's our key differentiator, but it would be difficult in the apartment owned.
So business to business?
B2B.
Okay. You got to let me make next question. How you foresee you scaling this project?
The scale for us is to really refine that service fee per unit so that we work with an owner and produce on behalf of the location. Then we produce the reporting and CO2, because the real scalable piece is the data to certify that these buildings are becoming carbon neutral because of the technology that we put in.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Perfect. So then there we go. All right, so 3 gone. We are going a lot of excitement to get here once again to the stage, Eco Experience. Maybe some of them already know.
So 35 million liters. This is the environmental problem that we had last year in 2017 in Portugal. Portugal alone, by the way. So this is 35,000 tons of used cooking oil that went either to waste or down the drain. And we have a very famous solution for candles that has been on Shark Tank. Solid soap, we can do it on biodiesel. Nearly 99% of the recycled used cooking oil goes to biodiesel. And ecological detergents. To our knowledge, we are the first successful company to have stable formulas for a number of ecological, 100% biodegradable liquid detergents for the household market. And the market was the way we see pretty much everything. So you buy the detergents, you use them, you create millions of, end up either in landfills or in recycling units. Then obviously you use the cooking oil to make wonderful pastries, even more here in Portugal, even more here in the interior. And you end up with contaminated water. Contaminates between 1,000 and 1 million liters of water. So our way, the circular way of eco experience, is to transform the used cooking oil into detergents and to close the circle. Because the detergents, they are something that you use every single day. Everyone here uses detergents every day. In the kitchen, in the bathroom, whatever. So we decided to close the loop using the used cooking oil as a raw material, the detergents. So this is our team. As I mentioned a while ago, we are 4 3 PhDs in chemistry, and myself, I'm an architect. And then we added 3 more people to the company that are helping us in different ways. So we have, between the founding partners, we have some experience in entrepreneurship. 2 of the partners in European projects. Oh, sorry. History. We started the company in late 2016, and in 2017 we launched our first product. It's called Soapy, and it's for kids to recycle a bit of used cooking oil at home. And this year we launched our line of already done, so we recycle the oil, not the consumer. And at the bottom you can see the prizes that we have won, fortunately, so far. There's a final one, hopefully today. And our sales, not amazing in 2017. In 2018, it's 5-fold, but still not amazing. And we expect the circular activity of the full, we collect the full containers of oil and the empty bottles of detergents. We convert, deliver the full packages of detergents and the empty packages of used cooking oil. This the restaurants in both ways. So we get the oil, we dispose the oil legally, detergents at a lower cost. So this is our needs. It's a lot of funding, actually. As fast as we can, and to grow our HR team the fastest we can too. Also, we need of the R&D projects that we have undergoing. The P2020, it will drain 90-something thousand euros, and we have applied to a qualification PME that ISO norms, etc. So our exit strategy, it's kind of a broad term here because it depends on the investor, right? So venture capitalists, they usually aim for a ridiculously high valuation of the company. We are speaking with some, and actually this and the need to buy back in 5 years, whatever it takes. And the power partners between 15 and 1 million valuation, and the founders with buyback options, or the last one, obviously we don't want this one, the slow growth of the founders, no exit, was stuck there forever. Hopefully it will not happen this way, but this is the way we see it now. Thank you.
Who would like to start? Some question?
So many questions. Your goal here with you, if you win, it's to invest on a factory or R&D? That was not clear.
This one?
Yeah.
The price?
Yeah.
Immediately, either if it's 5,000 or 10,000, we are going to solve immediate problems. Mm-hmm. One of them, it's having a hard time entering the restaurants because of the norms for biocides. We do 100% biodegradable, ecological detergents. Or biocides, whatever. But we need to. And we need some R&D effort to have some level of biocides in our detergents. Mm-hmm. But immediately that's what's stopping us it's the tipping point for the restaurants. So that money goes into that, and they'll have a burn 6,000 per month, so it would keep us afloat nearly 2 months more.
Okay. Another question is, let's say you have a wild card and now you have a chain of restaurants willing to invest in your product. how much money do you need, and how can you proceed that business model in a nutshell? Don't explain me in detail, but in a nutshell, how you foresee yourself. Well, we have, I don't know, a McDonald's now. How can we do this?
That's an amazing example of McDonald's, because actually we aim for these kind of things. Other countries have solutions for them. A 10-ton a day factory. The numbers are these ones. So with roughly can have this kind of factory, and obviously with big effort in HR, because we would need to hire top quality people. So I mean, I don't know if it answers your question, because really to the point, but 10 ton a day, it's what we are aiming now. Of course, in the first day we are not going to make 10 tons, or at least 1 ton. But that's what we are aiming now to do, and the cost for that, for the next 18 months, so this is not just initial cost, this is for us to be able to stay alive for 18 months.
Okay, thank you. And your plan, 5 years to return on investment?
Yeah, roughly 4 to 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, sorry, depending on the investment proposal, because as I said in the last slide, our partner, it's different things. Yeah.
Mindset.
5 years. Our partner, I mean, yeah, something like that.
Okay, I have a question about your factory. I often try to avoid factories because it's a lot of investment, and you obviously have investment and investments, etc. But there might be a reason, or there may be a reason, and one of the reasons could be that the margins are fairly slim, so you cannot really outsource it, because then somebody else is going to make money out of this. Is it the secret sauce reason that you don't really want to have this process somewhere else?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So the margins, we work with roughly 70 to 72% margin in our final product,
right,
before taxes.
Uh-huh.
The secret sauce is also a concern, obviously,
because
we are trying to be ahead of the curve, and that's why we had to.
Yeah.
So this is not something that we came up with yesterday.
No.
And there's a possibility here that we are the first to market something, and there's an our company because of that. I mean, because we have already some knowledge. If they want to do something like we do, like we have done, if they can do it, still the project formula for the P2020 is we have a patent for that. Okay.
Right. So you could actually scale by also utilizing other production facilities than your own.
Yeah, we need to scale.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You had an exhibit that showed the different uses of cooking oil, and I think it said that it's the biodiesel.
Yeah.
What kind of volumes are we talking about? I mean, how much cooking oil is being recycled into things?
20,000 tons in Portugal per year.
And that 20,000 tons, and that's like 10% of the total, 20, 50, 80?
Nearly 78,000 tons.
Okay.
20% remains in the food. That's why we get fat when we eat them.
Okay.
And the rest, 80%, are those 58,000 tons, and then the 60% that it's not recycled.
And the people that are the companies that recycle that and then sell the bio.
Just for you to know, the biggest company in Portugal to produce biodiesel is Brio. I mean, it's well known. It's an amazing company in Portugal. They buy abroad, not abroad, from
that.
Yeah.
But the question is, you are selling your product back to the restaurant. Is that right?
Yes. And
so
to the
it's
end user.
different than how these folks recycle, because
No, because they make fuel.
Right. They have a circuit. Okay.
The diesel that you put in your car has a maximum of 8% of biodiesel every day.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We're going to only if you have a really fast question. All right. Sounds. Everyone okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm really happy to see, as a partner of Climate Geek and EIT Food, that almost all ideas. So we will keep going on these with another very sustainable as well startup. Jiviot, could you come to the stage, please?
At Genvite, we believe that technology must be a part of the solution for a more sustainable world. Applying technology to our day-by-day activities can lead to the prevention of natural and material goods such as water. Water shortage is a big concern, affecting population and agricultural fields. In this year, early this year in Portugal, we saw that with in the inner communities being without water for their agricultural fields. So we saw that in those fields there was an excessive amount of water spent. Doesn't go to the field, and that implies that the farmer and higher waste. And all of that implies to a bigger cost for the final consumer. So our solution uses wireless sensor networks applied directly to the field that monitorize temperature, humidity, and AI algorithms to allow us to predict and control directly on the field the irrigation times, detect leaks and malfunctions in the pipes, and all of this in order to reduce the overall costs for the farmer, mainly in maintenance, provide savings up to 30% of water over a year. All of these improve the overall crop efficiency of the field. How does this work? We collect the water pressure and so many other things. We send those data to our servers using a LoRa network, and then we analyze the data with our AI algorithms that lead us to actions to the field. These actions are mainly the ideal irrigation system and that type of weather. All of these. Also, we can do such as leakage in the irrigation systems, or malfunctions or warnings of their fields. All of these leads to the gains for the farmer, mainly in the water savings. That, as I said, is up to 30% per year. We saw that market that do irrigation smart systems, but some automatically implement on the field, have some higher costs, our power consumption, and the by that systems are not available to the farmer. So our business model is a direct sale of module, our communication models, and our controllers, plus a subscription plan, or a savings as a service, as we loan the fee of the savings at the end of the year. On average, we do a system that the client needs. So on average, we use 12 sensors per hectare and 1 controller per hectare, and 1 communication module can cover up to 20 hectares. Our market is basically any agricultural field in the national market, with strong possibilities to expand to southern and Latin America. The use of this grant is mainly to, we are still on prototype phase, so finalize the prototype, build our case studies, and develop new features, and also some marketing to present our solution. Our timeline is end of this year. In the first quarter, we already have some real case scenarios to test. In the second quarter, we want to enter the market, adapt our solutions to new problems. This is our team. We also have 2 master students from and we have a partnership with Torres Vedras and Audax to do all. This is it.
The best timing so far. Thank you for that. We're going to, maybe I'll start with you, because the last time you didn't have any time to make a question. Sorry.
Are quite important for your business, aren't they? Have you built the models? Are you doing them? What are the statutes?
I didn't hear your question. Sorry.
Okay, the models you are using for taking for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is the state of it? How is
our
they
algorithms
are
are already full developed. We some food engineers to develop the algorithms to predict the real amount of crop. To use the type of the irrigation system, the pipes, the valves, everything, and weather forecasts and the real-time data that we retrieve, and we can already determine the amount of water needed for that type of field. We already tested the algorithms, and we have a success rate of about.
Do you have plans for protecting your
Yes.
IPL?
Yes, we already are working on a patent for all the hardware and software parts. And the algorithm is, we are working on the proprietary for the algorithm.
So your offering to a farmer is to come in and install and maintain the system. And you said that there were certain amounts of sensors per hectare and controller and stuff like that. So when you build the equipment, your installation and maintenance and all that, is this really viable for any kind of agriculture, or are you talking about just the high-end like winery? It would involve a good degree of cost. Even sensors are cheap still.
We right now we can have roughly and we mainly is the subscription plan that keep us that gets us a low cost solution. Because if we say to go to a small farmer and say, okay, this costs $10,000, they don't want. So what we want is to. This is why we have 2 modules. The second one, we provide all the hardware. And if you are going to have, we keep a small percentage of that savings.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Andrea. One just basic question, which I was thinking of, because I've seen numerous systems like this on irrigation and management system. Would your system make automatic,
Yes.
or is it the guidance system that does the recommendations?
We in the part of the irrigation timing, it's fully automatically. We don't say to the user, now you can water your crops for 2 minutes. No, we are controllers do the irrigation themselves.
Okay, got you. And the other one question is of irrigation, because many of the irrigation systems is actually underground. So you on that level that the water is condensed or whatever it's called. Are you agnostic to whatever irrigation technology?
We developed our solutions to be adapted to already existent irrigation systems.
Right.
So we are like a plug-and-play solution. We analyze the irrigation system that is already on the field, and we apply our control valve
to the prerequisites there. Okay, thank you.
You guys did all the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this was a really on-time session. So I will things in bags like carrots, potatoes, but the next startup has something very special. They say they have a life in a bag. So I would like to call Life in a Bag to the stage to pitch. That's you. Okay, maybe I'll help out.
My name is Pedro, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Life in a Bag. Let me start by presenting the team. Together with my wife, we created the brand 5 years ago, and since then we grew up to six team members. We always had an indoor garden where we grow our own from our friends or family. They wished to have the same, but they were always complaining about not having the know-how, the green finger, or not having the seeds, the soil, or even the space. And that was the trigger for us to come up with an idea to bring the same experience we had to the others. And that's how we define a mission to inspire others to grow indoors. So indoors and combining nature and design. So we offer products that allows you to create an organic indoor garden of herbs, edible flowers, or this was our first product. It's a grow bag. It includes everything you need to start growing. Like the bag is the pot itself. It contains the seed, organic seeds, the soil, and so on, and also instructions. Then this one, it's a box where you can grow very easily the microgreens, small leaves of the broccoli. We also use it in another product, cork as a raw material because it's natural and it also represents very well Portugal. We try to innovate using agar-agar, seaweed powder or jelly, where you can grow microgreens without having awarded in the Food and Nutrition
nutrition awards. And also, meanwhile, we create different products like bottles, recycled cutting to make paper with seeds, and so on. So we sell to the consumer using our online store. Retailers like organic shops, gift shops, or even museums or garden centers. 100 retailers are selling our product, and we start in having market in France, in some very well-known department stores, and also in the UK. So we have competitors, and how we differentiate from them. So we combine design with a do-it-yourself experience. We are organic certified, and we also have the packaging is also reusable, and we have a strategic partnership like Associação Portuguesa de Nutricionistas or Nutrivendors for design and sustainability, and also an honorable mention in the Green Project Awards. Usually we communicate using influencers like bloggers, and this helps us to spread the word and also to appear in media. So performance, and these were exactly some estimates we did that last year, but we are growing in the last 2 years around 30% per year, and we start this business investing our own money. So our goals is to gain market in France and Germany, to create brand and awareness with digital market to our products. We also are testing sensors with a mobile application, and we have lots of ideas for a physical store. So to achieve this goal, we need money, and we need to work hard. So, thank you.
Who would like to start? Some questions?
Sorry?
How much money?
Money?
You said we need money.
This price is enough to start a digital market.
My question is how your production is done, because
so we buy the components from different suppliers, and we set up everything is handmade in our production facility.
So, a factory?
It's a small factory. Ours, yes. We started as it's a cliche in the garage until 2 years ago, but now we grew a small one, but enough for the business we have right now.
3 things: cost per unity, price, sales price, and profitability.
To 28, like the bag, it costs 9. The cork, the grow cork, it's 18. So it depends.
So it depends. So your profitability margin is around.
We would like to have more, but last year 17% was online sales from our total revenue, but the average is 35% margin.
Are you
to business, right? So the margin is less.
Okay. B2C, right, is something that you really want to.
That's why we like to, because we are in. Don't know the brands, and we have a small effort in selling online, and we see some results. So we are selling, and we like to sell more online.
Okay.
To the consumer.
You talk about the store. If you can dream, which place should the store be?
Our target consumers are women, young women that have healthy concerns that live in large cities. It would be nice to start. That's a different story. Because to other outside the European Union, and it's not impossible, but it's different.
protection. I mean, it's not that hard to copy what you're doing. So I assume that the two things you have as an advantage is time to market, that you're fast, which means that you have to accelerate. And the other one is the brand name, which I really like, Life in a Bag. Have you protected that name and to ensure that this is a good name everywhere?
It's protected only in Portugal right now, but the name, the brand name.
And if you're going to enter France and Germany and more?
We already think about it, but we didn't have that step yet.
Don't think, do. Yeah.
For advice.
Would you like that? Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. I wrote a lot of different things, so this is wonderful. But how do you protect it from competition? Because you know you're early in the game, and I've seen some other product. At least in the U.S., I've seen some other product. They're beginning to really emerge in this area.
We know that, we are aware
yeah,
of that.
that's the key.
It's not easy to protect or to patent this. I think it's almost impossible in this kind of things. But we try to be fast. We try to innovate, to have different products, and using like pork. There is another company in Portugal that are using agroforestry waste, and we are partnering with them to trying to come up with different products. So there is different alternatives that are coming up. We are trying to be always at front.
One of the questions or ideas to have is, do you just supply of some sort, that you align yourself with a store or a brand, someone else, the product to them, and you know they have a recognized brand that they can maintain, but you're their supplier.
Yeah, I'm their supplier, but we are trying to keep. Maybe you don't believe, but we sell soil online. It's a regular soil, but it's a small package, and it's from Life in a Bag, so it's different somehow.
Yeah, but I think the industry is big boys.
Yeah,
and it's going to be hard for smaller players to remain independent.
I have to agree with that.
I think that's your challenge.
Yes.
Great concept, move fast. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And use maybe some seeds as well from Sementivas.
It's our partner.
Yeah, it's our partner.
Yeah, it's already our supplier. We work with Renata, with João, so we already met them.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
With no further ado, actually we are coming to the S name companies, so getting a little bit closer to the end. So right now I would like to call to the stage Orlando from Sensfinity.
So I'm Orlando. I'm co-founder and CEO of Sensfinity. And in Sensfinity, we would like to have also our slide deck. Help companies everywhere over the world to save over 300 billion every year. So how does this come? And we have been talking about IoT, a lot of assets which are already connected, but the world which is not connected is even much larger. And this was logistic processes are very cumbersome. They are manual and oftentimes faulty. So it starts everything to transportation, and in the end you end up in retail, storage. In all of those handover points, you lose data, you lose your assets, you lose control. And in fact, we heard in the previous talks that of goods spoiled today in transit to the customer. They are not used. Imagine today, if you would be able to spare this 40% of spoilage, we would actually today already be able to feed the 10 billion people that we will have in 2050 without the need of additional food for that. Imagine how much we are really currently putting in line. So it's really our responsibility to solve this. Now, today, our customers, like for instance, Tasty Trucks in Melbourne, they are 20% of the food they lost in the past by using our real-time sensors and know exactly what's happening with their goods. But this is not enough. So we partnered with Fazla Agida from for food reusage, food donation, and using our sensors and their platform, every bit of food which is there. So it will be either donated when before it spoils, or this is like, for instance, feeding livestock, or why not making soap? As out of the box, very simple, temperature, humidity, and it also gives you the possibility to know exactly where your goods are, everywhere in the world, also in storage facilities. Now, this is not only a sensor, it is a complete platform with communications, integrations to Salesforce and SAP, which are very common in today's world. So we gathered these partners. For Germany, we have now Fazla Agida, which we also would like to bring to Portugal, so that we can also benefit from their know-how here in Portugal and other markets as well. But we also have direct sales to other companies, and these companies are really building up the infrastructure for selected Sensfinity instead of our competitors. It's rather simple because we don't have a one-serve solution or sensor. We are our help, they really can build out the different handover points and monitor that. So that's the reason why Daimler, for instance, chose us for the integration into their trucks. Our idea is to sell the system as IoT as a service, so where a monthly sensor, the data, and their transmission. The team itself are of Nokia communications developers, and to that we added a COO, which comes from the food industry. He was a previous vice president of Danone, as well as CEO of Löwenbräu, so he brings to us the logistics know-how, as well as the perishable food logistics and supply chain. We are currently raising a seed round, which we will use to expand our commercial team in the Northern European countries, so that we can really build out the strategy for the logistics in Europe prior to going to the US. So our cap table today is mostly held by the team, Techstars and Metro. And our customers today are really in every point of the logistics industry. With Alsco, which have 300,000 pallets, as well as Turtlebox and Schoeller Aliberg for returnable plastic crates. So with the help of these customers, we are really capable of serving worldwide our logistics network. So thank you.
Yes, so this grant is for?
With the grant, we would like to showcase in Portugal how we can really have this end-to-end vision. So how we can, for instance, start already by the growers, at least in retail, the transportation. And then if something of the food in these restaurants or cafeterias is not being used, we will use the platform, the Fazla Agida platform, to put it to other use, so that we really will have zero waste in the entire chain. We want to demonstrate that.
No, okay. I guess I'll have.
So it was a very clear
So
presentation.
your primary capability, is it the sensor, or is it the system? I assume it's both, but I mean, where do you guys come from?
Well, we come from the software end, and we know that the data is out there. It's really ridiculously simple if you see supply chains. We have all the technology in the world available to do that. It's now in the point where it's really cheap to implement. That it is not being implemented. So we came from software, but we very fast saw that there was the need to have a very simple, very cheap sensor that you can incorporate, for instance, in the plastic crates, so that it can be really implemented globally, worldwide, in millions of crates. 100 euros, no one will implement it. But if you can do it for 10 euros, and later on, perhaps in 2 to 3 years, everywhere. And this is really what we need to have this everywhere.
So your sensors would go into the crate.
Yes, exactly.
Not into the truck.
So we have both things. We have it in the truck, we have it in the trailer, we have it in the pallet, and we will have it also in the crate. This gives you, for instance, the idea is on which pallet. You will know if the pallet is on the right trailer, if it is in the shipping container. As I explained further, we come from the software part, so for us it was important to have really this information piece together. So it will be cheap enough, and it will be small enough to be in the crate. We are
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question, and this relates back to older days when I was doing similar things. At that time, nobody wanted to invest in putting sensors on containers or pallets because they never see them. So our direction became working with those that had closed loops.
Mm-hmm.
That is, they own their own containers, they own their own pallets, even though they're being stolen all the time. But still, so they felt that that could justify it. It was, we must wait for standardization. So how are you dealing with these two challenges?
Yes. So we know that a lot of people are waiting for a standardization. We want to be the same, and we are using with this need. For instance, we have BASF there. BASF has the need. We can solve their need. ALSCO, as a pallet pool operator, they want to know exactly what happens with their pallets, so they buy our sensor, they integrate virtually, without really having bought into the vision already this Internet of Cargo inside those pallets. So it comes some kind of piggybacking into the basic customer needs. This as an entire picture, they really see how the small pieces can form together this Internet of Cargo vision. But most of the customers, taking away perhaps Daimler, which saw that, don't understand this very, very fast. They only see their little piece of need. They don't see that this virtual circle, which really will be able to save a lot of the perishable foods today.
I want to ask something.
Yes. I think you can.
It's about your partnership. Mm-hmm. So you talk about their platform, your software, your sensors. Who owns the software?
Yes.
How this works?
So we own the software until the data gathering. Mm-hmm. So we have then the data in a database, and then we have, for instance, the Fazlagida platform, which will get our data from our platform, but then they do their own things. They know exactly what is the best way to handle with bread, which temperatures this bread can take, if it can be used, for instance, for beer manufacturing, for other things. They have all this knowledge in their database. So this is really their knowledge. This is their value that they bring in. So to really use this as a resource and not a way. partnership for us.
So your software does is to get the information to their platform, so they can analyze with their algorithm the food. Is that
exactly. So
okay, that's a huge difference from the business point of view, to have just an input on the cloud or have actually algorithm to quite different from the business point of view. Thank you.
You're welcome.
E de levar, não é, com o internet das coisas e de controlá-lo um bocadinho melhor, esta mobilidade, vamos agora voltar aos agricultores com uma tecnologia bastante interessante aqui ao palco Sponge.
We produce water, the reservoir, the air around us, fully off-grid, without adding any energy, and affordable. We all know, we heard today again, every year. Deserts are expanding towards Portugal and Spain, and we all know no water means no food. However, nature has learned over a million of years how to deal with that. They actually collect water from the air. So we thought, why don't we do that? Textile that does exactly that, using the natural cycles of day and night. The textile looks around a tree, around a vineyard, you can put it in a box, you can put it along a wall, and then with the cycles of the day, it absorbs water from the air and releases it again. So the applications are massive. Agriculture, and drinking water, and even humidity control. Let's have a little look what it looks like under the microscope. This is one fiber of the textile. This was developed at Eindhoven University in Holland. You see here the temperature at the bottom. The textile absorbs large amounts of water from the air, and as the temperatures go up, you see, oh, that was it. You saw probably one loop, that should be enough. Releases the water again, and the fibers literally swell up 4 times their size and then contract again. We bring water where there is no more. There are loads of applications we have to focus. Our first market is going to be Spain and also in South Africa because of the seasons that are opposite. You see, the market values are huge, and this is just the beachhead market. The total agri-water market is gigantic. We have 2 systems. Just put it around a tree, you put it along the vineyard. You buy it for €5.20 and you get 1.3 litres per day for your tree, directly at the roots. We also are developing a solar 2,000 litre per day at a really low water unit cost. It's a bit difficult to see in the arrow. It will be about 0.4, actually quite similar to a water well. Competition, desalination plants obviously, but they big, it's very, very energy intensive and environmentally friendly. 4 catchers, but they are only where there's a lot of mist or very expensive water from air conditioning systems. At the moment, actually just from the press, we just made our first minimum viable product, and now we're going to make our first prototype, and that's actually what we were going to do with the grant if we win it. This is going to be the funding that we need for 2019, about less than 5 mostly by grants, subsidies, and that kind of stuff, and a bit of VC. Towards the end, we still own all the equity. It's all self-funded and with grants and subsidies. And we want to go for an exit about 5 years with a revenue of about 40 to 60 million. We got quite a lot of not too long ago. That's you see it on the right at ISA, at the Instituto Superior de Agronomia. We made it to quite a few newspapers and recently and Extension Innovation Awards. I'm super proud of our team. We have an amazing team to get on this mission. I'm actually an oil man gone green. I worked across the whole world on rigs before moving to the ocean cleanup, where I helped scale it up from. And Catarina, she is actually Portuguese, living in Holland. I'm a Dutchman living in Portugal. She's the brains behind this material. She actually invented it, and we now have Koert on board, who's a very experienced serial entrepreneur, mainly in the business side. Over there you see Doris and Ayla, our fantastic team, working on the water markets needs and the customer validation. Our mission is to make a real difference in the world and provide affordable water for everyone. And we hope you can help with that. Thank you.
Customers, what are your customers? How do you classify them?
Our customers, who they will be. So for our first, it will be farmers, agricultural farmers. So first to sell them, well, first we'll sell them directly, but then go with agricultural distributors. But our first beachhead market is going to be fruit and nut tree farmers. For example, here in Portugal. Sorry? In Idanha, for example. I don't know if there are any producers here. Yeah, now you can't really, looking at today.
So this is a patented material?
We are at the moment, because we're changing a lot of stuff in Germany, where we're working together with a research firm to import, because the old invention we cannot scale up. And that we spoke with patent lawyers, we can patent.
Okay.
And we're also looking at the Coca-Cola model. Because we're a bit happen, but
okay.
We do have a lot of priority knowledge, because Catarina, even though the research firm that we're working with in Germany is the institution are actively coaching every day, basically, to make this material, and Catarina is the real world leader in this, and she's also co-founder.
Okay.
I have a question related to your business model. You gave prices, etc. So I understand you're going to sell the text. How will you reach all these farmers? What's your distribution strategy? And would you touch base with them all from your own company, or you etc. etc.?
Yeah, exactly, the latter. So it's obviously not possible to reach all of them. So our first pilots we do want to do directly with our first customers. However, we want to switch quite quickly to distributors. We're actually being world already who would like to distribute it, but in order to make the scale and speed up, we really need to work with others to do that, who also know the business 10 times better locally than we do.
You need to find somebody who's already there, have the position, have the cred or the name, and sell.
Yeah, I have no illusion that we can do that ourselves as well as they can.
More than a question, I'm going to give you an advice, and it's for free, so take it. Municipalities. They know they have funds for farmers. They know all the farmers. So you actually can reach out to them, and they can work in their distribution for you, especially in Portugal. Okay?
Even for the distribution?
They can put in contact, because they fund a lot of farmers. So they have funds from the state, they know, and they can actually fund you to place this on the farmers. And you're going to have your data, your for the rest of the world. Okay, so start there, talk with all the municipalities in Portugal, a business case. Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll do that, Ayla.
I will place an invoice after this, okay?
Ora bem, sim, tivemos agora aqui uma tecnologia na área da água. Portanto, vou agora chamar para o palco a WhatGrid.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariana and I'm here to... So as the name says, we work with wine. And what we are doing right now is help enologists and winemakers to save two of the biggest problems that they face in the industry. One of them is waste of time. Still really traditional in what matters of the monitoring the wine. So they need lots of people going barrel by barrel, send the samples to the lab, waiting for the results, and repeat. And this waiting, this time wasted, leads to another problem. That time is money. So in the end, lots of the money sources and as well as waiting will lead that in the end the final product probably will not reach the value that they want. So what we want to do, we are digitizing all the process. So we put sensors in the barrels and vats, collect information about all the phases of the winemaking and send those information to the cloud. So the enologists can assess anytime, anywhere. Can collect information about 5 parameters in real time. There are turbidity, color, temperature, density. So here you have a sneak peek of our sensors as well as our renewed dashboard, so where the enologists can assess the data. So why you can trust in WineGrid? So we have more than 8 years in research and development. 2 years were spent in pilots, so more than 20 million measurements were done, as well as our precision and accuracy almost reached 100% equipment. Compared with our competition, we have competition, but none of the one that we are looking for does what we do the way we do. We can collect this all information in real time and deliver it to the enologist. That's worth around 2 billion euros, and we are targeting barrel, press, and vat producers, as well as wine tech integrators or partnerships with lab and consultants. Our business model sell as well as an annual fee to the use of the software. Right now we have clients in Portugal. In Portugal we have the big players like Sograp, Real Companhia Velha, Esporão, and we have as well in France like Chateau Margaux or Boucher Vaslin. Italy, we entered this year with a partnership with a reseller. So our we want to increase is the revenue for the wine company, the quality of the product, and the convenience to access the data and take real-time decisions. So we have 35% that belongs to the founders and 25% that belongs to investors. And from those 25%, until now, we were able to reach 1.5 million euros in investments that were split around 50% in venture capital, 50% in grants. This money is being invested in human resources, R&D, production, and internationalization, as well as marketing and the sales team. Our goals for the next 2 years, let's say, would be focus on the R&D of the product, so make and by new markets can be new countries, as well new sectors where we can apply the technology, and the industry. As an exit strategy, we have two scenarios, good scenarios. One would be the acquisition by a bigger company in the industry or entrance in the stock market. So I'm here presenting this idea, but I'm not the person behind it. So these are Rogério and Lucia, the founders of you have a really hardworking team behind them. So to finish, this is just some achievements that we got a long time. 2 weeks ago we were awarded with the SMA Instrument Phase 1. We also were finalists in Prémio Caixa Agrícola, as well Prémio Inovação. Thank you very much.
Thank you for an excellent presentation and nice pictures. And I always like wine. Anyhow, you did not mention your customers in a number of countries, but what are the sales level today? What's your revenue? What is your revenue?
Revenue.
Yeah. ¿Cuántos dineros?
We started to sell the product this year. In the end of last year, we already had some sales, but until now was this year. But I don't have those numbers to give you, sorry.
That's okay.
These are with Rogério and Lucia. So, sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if you are able to reply to this, but 1.5?
Yes, until now.
In general, until now, to develop the product, and you just make sales for a year?
From last year, yes.
From last year.
Since the beginning, first of all, we did 2 years of pilot, so before we selling, we need to test it before we sell it, because we couldn't sell a product that was not really tested and would fail, because this would be to the sector. So we need to start well. We will not start with, okay, we have a really nice idea, really good technology, but it fails. So the sale started last year. This year was, I would say this year and next year would be what will separate us from a startup to a company.
I'm just amazed how you raise 1.5 million without traction. But I have it's so where you gonna go after this in Portugal? All wineries? It's a high-end product. It's a low-end. How are you gonna place it in the market?
So we want to reach as much winery, but that we have small companies and small producers, and to reach them all is difficult. So the strategy that we are doing now is by resellers. So that's what we did this year in Italy. So we had an agreement with a reseller, and they will do and that work for us. So to reach the, it's easy. It's a small country, and it's easy to knock door by door if it's necessary. To reach Italy, enter, for example, in the United States, it's needed a really huge sales team. So instead of have that allocated to us, we had agreements and had.
Can I add one more thing? This is related to the information, a question I asked before, because you do get a lot of data, and so with all these data aggregated, you could actually predict whether it's going to be a good wine year in France or in Italy or in Australia. So you will own the data, the aggregated data?
So we collect the data. What the analog can do previous years, technology is manually insert the information. So with the data that we're being collect is from now on is turning the information like smart data. So not only results the information, but it can also start to have predictions. So that is what we are already start to working to optimize that part.
So if I understand correctly, your sensors can sense more than your competition sensors.
Yes.
You have. Now, is your sensing directed towards the stored wine and how it ages?
So the sensors will monitor from the fermentation of the winemaking are monitored by the sensors. I don't know if it's exactly what you were.
Yeah, but I mean, aren't a lot of the wineries, they have equipment that seems to have sensors all over the place? The barrels don't seem to have sensors, but the big things have sensors.
There are sensors. But for example, two of the parameters that we measure, there are turbidity and color, that are really important in the fermentation phase, for instance.
Yeah.
We don't have anyone that do that, technologically and in real time.
Okay.
Sensor for temperature, for level as well,
not for the others.
But not for the others.
And
that's
the important in the other part. Okay.
So we do the combination of all these important parameters.
Okay. One last question? No? Okay. Pode ser no jantar?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Portanto, last but not least, vamos começar, ou melhor, terminar com aquilo onde a comida acaba por começar, na terra. Por isso gostaria de chamar aqui ao palco João Noé Isto é tu? Precisas dele?
Hello, good afternoon. First of all, I noticed today, it's very interesting that we are here in a food technological event related with agriculture, and I didn't see too much farmers over here. It's really interesting that we are really pushing the farmers to the technology, and I saw, I think, 2 small farmers from Idanha and nothing more. Maybe, oh, okay, 3, 4. Okay, but not much, actually. Okay, a lot of farmers. A lot of farmers from Idanha, but from the rest of Portugal, not so much, I have to say. Is a company that works with precision agriculture. Actually, what we are trying to do is to put the technology, is making the bridge of the technology and all the data and all the information to the farmer. Because, and not only in Portugal, actually all over the world, the farmers have a lot of things to do, and they need the information, let's say, turned into knowledge, turned into advice. And that's the... So we are expertise in agronomics and in system engineering. We have our human experience in irrigation and agriculture equipment. And our business model is related to give agronomic support to the farmer based on technology, which is soil moisture probes that we integrate. Probes, our own meteo stations, but we do also aerial image from drones, from satellites. We use other sensors, new sensors that we are testing, like nitrates and potassium sensors from the soil. But the most important, we integrate all the data with the field knowledge to give farmer an advice, and a direct advice weekly, in a weekly basis. We can based on selling the equipment, but we can work also in service-based information. Okay, so the business model comprehends the tools, which are the equipments and the mapping that we provide. All the information is historically and is putting together over there in the cloud basis. The proximity from our technicians to the farmers, and to explain to the farmer and to extract all the technology that we can to the knowledge. So the problem here that we talked a lot, demanding farming production, the food availability, the quality of the food security. The solution, of course, agro-system sustainability, irrigation efficiency, yield, lower production costs, blah, 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 blah. For the farmers, it's economic benefit. So if they have an economic benefit, they will do everything else. If they don't have, they don't care about the food quality, the company, etc. So what I see is that there are too much information to deal with, and farmers doesn't know how to use it. Agronomic support, and turn all the data that we can retrieve now into knowledge. That's understood. So we tried to see each field of the customer not as a, let's say, each field as a unit, a unique field, but each square meter is different. So we treat each way, and it's much more efficient based on, let's say, image, etc. And we give support to the farmer in a week basis. Okay, irrigate 20 millimeters today, next week 10 millimeters. That's what they want to know. The type of information that we can extract from their farm. Okay, sorry. And here that I can retrieve for a farmer, let's say with a minimum investment to change the speed of the pivot. This is just an example. In order to, at the table below, you see less 10% in the red label, plus and at the end you can have 20% more production easily. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, just 10 seconds more. The strategy that we have now, it's to improve the interface software, which is for this prize will be used for. The internationalization, which is with local partners. We have a company in Chile, and we are starting this relationship, but it's not so easy, and we are working also in Spain. Communication boost in order to achieve. Thanks.
You have not said anything about the team?
Yeah, no, I said in the first place. I said about the team which with 15 years experience in agronomics field, but we have a team that is agronomics, mainly technical agronomists, electronics to integrate all the equipment that we use, and the field, of course.
How do you plan to convince the farmers?
How do I plan
to convince the farmers? Take your solution.
The company started in 2014, so I have actually a lot of customers, some farmers already, and I have some case studies that were really good. So I convinced the farmers with the studies that I worked for, and that's the better way to convince them. You understand? It's like I did last year once, and it worked so well that you should go.
So I am guessing, and I know a little bit, that a lot of people are trying to do this, what you're trying to do. So how are you different?
The thing is that's why I started saying about the farmers. Forums and these startups, the people want to grow rapidly, and the capability of scaling. So we have to face it. We need teams in proximity with the people, and that costs. People advising the farmers in the field, and that costs money. Our company is at the end is a service company with teams in the car going with the farmers, and that is not a company that could grow so rapidly, so quick. That's why I'm looking for local partners in different countries, because that's the only solution. My opinion that for don't have so much competition is that is not so worse at the beginning, because the margins are not so good. We have the time, the team. That's it.
Yeah, no, and that's my point. That if your approach is to be close to the customer, it's an expensive approach. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
So the question is the business proposition, is it positive enough to make a good business?
Yeah, I'm here for 4 years. I'm growing slowly because I'm not growing with VC.
Yeah.
So I did not have any ready.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
So again, what is your revenue so far?
My revenue last year was around 3,000 euros.
300,000.
Sorry.
Yeah.
300,000 euros.
Okay.
And we expect to reach around 500,000 this year, because this year is being really good.
I'm just a little bit curious about the farmer's point of view, the ROI. as you already been in the market, what is the increase in yield that you can showcase for them to convince them?
Normally, when I have a new to convince them and to show him in the first year that it works, because since it's a service, he pays and he has at the end he has to have a revenue much more than 1,000 euros in cost reduction or in increasing the yield. So I'm really happy because for all the customers I had, I have gained percent of them. So the good thing is that once they engage, they never leave. That's really.
I have a question, quick one. Your business model, it's the implementation, or is the support that you give to the farmers afterwards, or both?
It's both.
It's both.
Both. See, yes, but my in other countries is to have local partners, and in that case, I will give support to the local partners, and the local partners have the farmers. Okay, so
needs to give support for each client. You said you. When you're explaining to the farmers, it's blah 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 revenue. Okay, I understand that what they want to know if it has a return of investment or not. But from your point of view, you have to put a team each week or each 2 weeks on that farm. How a good return of investment?
No, I put a team on the farm just at the beginning to install everything, at the end to take back the things, and in the middle they visit the field once or twice. Okay, it's not every week. Every week we send reports, we talk by phone, and we are in that sense, but we don't visit the fields every week. Otherwise, it would not be.
But still, it is in HR. It's a big portion of the money that you have for that contact, that proximity.
Yeah, but I can say that I can have a person, a technician from agronomy. That can have 100 customers. It's not a problem like that because they don't have to visit the customers.
Perfect. That was my question. If they have to visit, will be so much different than just pop a call.
They have to make phone calls, to make reports weekly, but not more than that.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Perfeito. Portanto, temos aqui algumas excelentes notícias. Primeiro, para juntar toda a informação, e durante o jantar, a equipa selecionada para primeiro e segundo lugar será nomeada. Portanto, tem que ficar cá até ao jantar para saber. É uma maneira de esfregar. Alguns frutos. E, portanto, eu tenho aqui algumas mensagens já importantes para vos passar. Uma delas é que a Planeteers, não sei se a Planeteers está aqui agora. Pedro, não sei se está aqui. A Planeteers tem agora uma notícia muito interessante para partilhar, que não sei se vocês já conhecem a Planeteers, mas é uma plataforma e-commerce na área de sustentabilidade e, portanto, também vendem não só produtos alimentares, mas também lifestyle sustentável. E por isso, comprarem lá produtos da Eco Experience, que acabaram de ouvir, também da Life in a Bag, exatamente, e da Life in a Bag, peço desculpa. E, portanto, podem lá encontrar estes dois produtos, mas não só, hoje e por isso estamos muito contentes de partilhar que a Planeteers, usando, portanto, comprando através do website e usando o código Idanha, pronto, direi assim, potencialmente depois se calhar vamos partilhar em imagem em grande, vocês, ao comprarem, vai estar a ser plantada uma árvore em Idanha. Por isso, por isso, esperemos que para o ano tenhamos pelo menos umas 250 árvores, não é? No mínimo. De quanto tempo é que dura esta campanha? Até ao Green Friday, Black Friday. Pronto, para Green Friday, Black Friday. Exatamente. Portanto, até lá podem efetivamente comprar e plantar aqui uma árvore. Mas não só isso. Para nós, BGI, acaba por ser uma das sessões que mais gostamos. Porquê? porque temos impacto direto e aqui João Noem em agricultura. E dois grandes agricultores locais, devo dizê-lo. E eles vão apresentar-vos o caso deles e onde é que eles podem, neste preciso momento, precisar mais da vossa ajuda. E, portanto, nós vamos colocar-vos a vocês a trabalhar em grupo para chegarem a uma solução. Para já, vamos fazer, por causa de uma outra colaboração, portanto, hoje surgiu tudo, temos aqui o António, se pudesse chegar mais perto para as pessoas te poderem ver, polpa de figo. E por isso nós temos uns copinhos à entrada para todos vocês provarem esta polpa de figo, que é inovadora, e devo dizer que nós criámos uma escala de 1 a 5, também pode já ser vou comprar, o 5 é adoro, vou comprar os pacotes todos, e estará ali para vocês tirarem um post-it e colocarem simplesmente, se querem pôr no 1, não sei muito, no 2, no 3, 4 ou 5, ok? Muito provarem e fazerem este teste, pedi-vos que o fizessem de forma ordeira, com uma fila. Voltaremos aqui para a apresentação dos casos dos 2 agricultores que temos connosco e para vocês resolverem o problema deles. Obrigada.